So this video today is for the ladies. My name is Dr. Meier and I'm a physician here at Third Coast Foot and Ankle. And today I'm going to talk a little bit on why pregnancy and hormonal changes in our body can wreak havoc on our feet. So a few things I want to point out. Now the thing I'm going to talk about the most is something called the spring ligament. Now our feet are made up of a plethora of ligaments and tendons, and as you can see, a lot of different bones. So the structure of our foot is very dependent on these ligaments and tendons to help reinforce that structure. As you can see, it's not just a flat piece that's standing on the ground. It's actually an arc, and then around this arc is the structures kind of reinforcing its position. Now, during some of our hormonal changes, specifically during pregnancy, our body releases a hormone called relaxin. And this is extremely important, especially for childbirth, because it allows the ligaments in our pelvis to relax and our pelvis to widen so that we can bear children. Now, unfortunately, that is not tightly regulated to only the body parts that we are using during labor, and this hormone goes all throughout our body. So we see some ligament laxity situations that can leave us more prone to injuries and discomfort. Now, the spring ligament in the foot is actually right here, as you can see, kind of in the peak of the arch. And it is actually cradling this bone to kind of hold it up. Now, when it gets relaxed, you can see that cradle is going to soften, and we actually see some stress on that ligament. So I'm going to kind of turn it from the side. You can see it almost rolls inward. And so we're getting a lot of pressure on our arch. Now, this can be problematic for a couple of different reasons. One is there's a really big tendon called your posterior tibial tendon that also wraps around this area right here and then sits on this bone. And when that relaxin hormone sets in and everything's relaxed, all these bones in that foot is just driving into that tendon, putting a lot of force in it, and then it's also stretching it out at the same time. So that tendon is left working harder at this suboptimal position. So it's very easy for it to get overused. And that would lead to pain inside the arch and kind of sometimes extending up into the ankle along where that tendon drives. Now, another ligament in the foot is called your plantar fascia. Now, plantar fasciitis is extremely common. You may have already heard of this, but the reason why this can start during pregnancies is actually twofold. Number one, the hormone thing all over again. That ligament actually runs from the heel all the way to the toes. And so when everything is collapsing, that ligament is also being stressed, strained. And then when it gets pulled on this heel. And so it presents as heel pain. It's just really sharp heel pain that you get when you stand up. Now, another reason why we get plantar fasciitis, especially around pregnancy, is that we're having a difficult time with shoes. Our shoes aren't fitting appropriately, and so we're starting to wear a lot of like slip-ons and sandals and things with not a whole lot of support. And so nothing's kind of helping or assisting out these weaknesses. The other thing is during postpartum, when all these hormones are still circulating in our body, we're at home with our cute little baby and we're walking around barefoot. We're getting up in the middle of the night. We're standing, we're rocking, and all of that activity barefoot leaves the foot really unsupported and vulnerable. So all of these areas that have this ligament laxity and we're putting on abnormal stress that your body also is just not conditioned to take. You've been pregnant for 9 months, which is a relatively short period of time in your lifetime, on top of all these other bodily changes. So the stress on your foot is real. And so when you're having pain and symptoms there's a lot going on. So the first thing, easiest, is to prevent it, right? So we're going to recommend that you always try to keep that foot supported. Go ahead and splurge and get yourself a comfortable pair of shoes. You deserve it. And then even in that postpartum time, there are flip-flops and sandals now that come with great arch support, something to just give some back pressure against these ligaments that are starting to weaken and fail on you. Now, these aren't long-term changes, but there are some things that change long-term. We do see that the foot doesn't necessarily spring back up after pregnancy, that after you see that relaxation, some of that does stay. So for that reason, as you can see with this model, if I'm twisting it, that foot is actually getting longer. So you can expect to go up in shoe size by a half, sometimes even a full size after each pregnancy. So it's cumulative. So every time you find a new love of your life, you're going to have to go shoe shopping. So these are a few things to consider if you are looking at bringing another one into your home. Good luck. If you have any foot pain during pregnancy, here at Third Coast Foot and Ankle, we have female physicians who have gone through pregnancy themselves and are more than happy to assist you with that journey.